right. You know this woman as Jeff Lewis obsessed. I fell in love with her, as I was telling her before we started recording, flipping through TikTok, giving her hot Bravo takes, unpacking all things that is Jeff Lewis, which I have a good story for you, Sarah from Texas, about Jeff Lewis at BravoCon. But anyway, Sarah from Texas is here. You know her from Jeff Lewis Obsessed on Instagram, on TikTok. She goes live Monday through Friday on your YouTube. The YouTube is Reality Water Cooler? Or is it Jeff Lewis Obsessed?
Yes, I'm live on 6 different platforms.
Girl, making my
at the same time. And then it goes up as a podcast everywhere at Jeff Lewis Obsessed.
Well, we've become fast friends, even though you're Texas-based, I'm LA-based. But I love you. I fell in love with you watching you on TikTok for your just like, you were so transparent. I'm a sucker for a Southern accent anyway. I love a Texas gal. There's just something about women from Texas.
Love it.
Thank you for being on the pod.
Absolutely. Thank you for reaching out to me. We have become fast friends. And not only because our parents spelled our names right, Sarah with an H. Don't you love that feud between Sarah's with H's and Sarah's without an H? It's a thing.
It is a thing. One of my nearest and dearest friends is Sarah without an H. We have the same birthday, born on the same day, went to college together. Yes, and we always have she loves to joke about it too. She says without the H is just so much more modern. So thank you, Sarah Hua Forum.
Well, I'm 50 years old, so ain't nothing modern about me.
Well, look, I wanted to have you on too because I am inspired by you. You're building your own brand. I think kind of getting to know you. Were you a stay-at-home mom for years and then now you're sort of getting into the career world again? Is that right?
I mean, I guess it's the career world. It's a career I never planned on, but I think those are the most fun. So I was a stay-at-home mom for 14 years. We do have 5 amazing children.
I love it.
So I'm very energetic, very efficient with my time. So when the baby went to 1st grade, I actually got my teaching certification and started teaching elementary. So I did that for 5 years. Then I kind of got bored of that. And then I started listening to the Jeff Lewis live show every day. And I realized there's no one to talk about this with. I didn't know about podcasts. I didn't know about fan accounts. I didn't know how to follow celebrities on Instagram. I was clueless a year and a half ago.
So you've only been doing Jeff Lewis Obsessed for a year and a half?
June of 2022 is when I had the random idea to go Instagram live. Because by then, for a few months, maybe 5 or 6 months, I had been on Instagram. I was following other people and I'd seen Instagram lives. I listened to Amy Phillips, who I love, on Radio Andy, Reality Check. So she was like recapping Bravo shows. So I basically realized, there's like Bravo fan accounts that like recap stuff. I'm like, why don't I do that for Jeff Lewis? So I did DM him and ask permission because I just felt like that was the right thing to do. Thank you. The 19-year-old decided to help me during the podcast.
Okay. No problem. Guest appearance. Okay.
Shout out Mom Life.
Yeah, I know.
Anywho. So I did ask his permission. So then I changed the name, my Instagram. I changed all my stuff to Jeff Lewis Stalker because that at the time was a very big joke that Jeff Lewis was so famous. He hadn't had a stalker for a couple of years. Oh, wow. So I personally thought it was funny and he thought it was great. He's like, absolutely love it. Do it. Well, the Jeff Lewis fans, listeners, chumps, whatever you want to call them, they are ferocious. They're very loyal. They're very protective of Jeff Lewis. And no one had really ever done a fan account of his. And so instantly there was this, we don't need this recap. What are you doing? So my account kept getting turned in. Of course, Instagram is, private about that, but I kept getting in trouble. So finally I just changed my name to Jeff Lewis Obsessed, thinking that would like lighten the load. So I'm Jeff Lewis Obsessed.
I love it. What advice would you give a woman like reinventing? I mean, that's so impressive. I mean, you 5 years you were an elementary school teacher. Yeah. That's such a tough job. I mean, why did you get tired of that and think, oh, you know what? I've always had this obsession with Jeff. I'm just going to go live. Like,
I mean, okay, so in all due, I have always loved reality TV. I watched MTV, The Real World from day one. I was fascinated. I've always loved people. My degree is in radio television communications from 1995, and then I minored in psychology. So I always. What do you need? I'm live. I need a code. I'm on my phone. I can't.
This is such a mom moment. I completely can relate. They always they never need anything when you're.
That was kid number 2 and then kid number 5.
I know. Yeah. When you have nothing going on, they don't need you. The minute you're on the phone, the minute you start a podcast, it's like they're right there. I hear you.
And they're teenagers, so they don't give a rat's ass about me 90% of the time. But the second I'm doing something for mommy, it's on. They need me.
Always.
Anywho. So back to motivational for other women.
Yeah, I think it's so brave of you. First of all, we're all at the point where everybody's actually, I feel like this is really a stigma that's gone away. But social media is always a thing 15-year-olds are on social media, 20-year-olds. Now, of course, we realize, right, brands, businesses, people of all ages are thriving on TikTok and beyond, right? But there's still that fear, I think, for a lot of women to put themselves out there. And I mean, I'm impressed that you did that after being a mom, being an elementary school teacher and really having zero experience in the, social media space. So what would you tell women if they're thinking about making a jump?
I guess in anything to do it, but just have confidence in yourself. I feel like people in general, but especially women, especially us moms, we lose a lot of self-confidence because people are always telling us we're not good enough, we're not doing enough. Have confidence in yourself and realize the best thing you can do is if I get specific about doing a fan account or a social media or a podcast, put out content that you absolutely would want to see yourself. Your audience will come to you. If you try to create content that you think people want to see or hear, you're not always going to get it right. And so if you just put out stuff that you love, that means something to you, your audience is always going to find you.
I love that. I love that. And I know you're still navigating your business because you said you didn't anticipate this to be a business. So what about it changed? Did someone talk to you and they were like, Sarah, you could be making money doing this? How did you kind of get in that business mindset?
Yeah, I love that because I will give a shout out to you because honestly, when you reached out to me, we talked on the phone the next day and you and I just gave each other honest advice and we helped each other out. And I feel like that's not always what some people do. So I have been doing this since June of 2022, 5 or 6 days a week without fail, making content, all the platforms, which is so time consuming. But as a stay-at-home mom, I have that opportunity. My husband's at work, my kids are at school, and then I can stop and start as I want because I wasn't under control of anyone else, right? I don't need this financially. I wasn't making any money on this. I didn't even know how to make money on this. And that wasn't my motivation. My motivation, and that's really come full circle now, is having a community to chat reality TV and Jeff Lewis Live about. And I didn't have that. And that was what was missing. So I created it for myself. And trust me, it was slow going. Like I said, it's really hard to get a Jeff Lewis listener to push the follow button. Okay. It's a whole different world than Bravo, to be honest with you. So once I kind of proved myself to people over a year, and got Chumps following and Chumps coming on my Instagram Live and me getting personally invited to events that Jeff Lewis was hosting, it really proved to people, oh, maybe this girl's on to something, and then the other people have met each other at events that I've had. I've met so many other people. We call my, crew Chumpettes. So shout out to my friend Pina who came up with that name. But it's come full circle. But around May, someone named Ashley, who is the Bravo mom on TikTok, we were messaging with each other. She lives in California. I'm in Texas. And she said, how much money do you make on TikTok? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't make any money on anything. Again, just like you did, she helped me through no reason of her own, no benefit of her own. She told me, hey, I'm looking at your TikTok and you qualify. You need to do this, this, and this. Within weeks, I was then qualified on YouTube to make money. And then the ball just got rolling. And then now I make money on some stuff. Is it paying my kids' college? Abso-freaking-lutely not.
Yeah.
Do I care? Abso-freaking-lutely not. I'm really doing this because I love doing it. And like Oprah Winfrey says, when you have a job that doesn't feel like a job, it's not a job. It's just fun.
Well, I came from a radio and background and worked for iHeartRadio. And, I've talked about this extensively, but I worked in an environment for a long time where no one would help you, and it was very cutthroat. It was very competitive. Nobody would help anyone. I mean, we were sort of like told, don't even hang out with people at other radio stations. So you almost couldn't even network with other people. Yeah. And once I left that, it was such a toxic environment and so negative, and there was no need for it. Like everybody could have done these other projects and had friends on other radio stations and still succeeded. So when I left, I just always made the decision. I said, Sarah, what you do is so unique. Like if I can help another woman, like here's what I did, try this. As you know, just because I tell you like, oh, you could do this or that, you have to do the work. And it's a lot of work, so I'm always of the mindset, like, let me help and share. And people have done the same for me. That's why I love David Yontif from Behind the Velvet Rope so much. David was like the woman that you met on TikTok. I mean, David said to me, are you doing X, Y, and Z with your business? And I was like, no. And he's like, you need to be doing that immediately. And that's how you're going to double and triple your income. So I'm forever grateful. I mean, that's been so anything I can do. And I'm never of the mindset, because what we do is, it's so hard. It's hard to stick with it. A lot of people can't do it. And a lot of people drop out because it is a challenge, and you are going to make money. I mean, look, girl, I've been in it 8 years. So I will gladly tell you, I mean, for 3 years, I lost money. So I will share with you all the secrets to avoid, because it's hard. I don't want anyone to experience that like I did. I mean, if it wasn't for my husband, I would have had to stop. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I was paid by the hour, I mean, I'm probably at like 5 cents, and I'm fine with that because it's 5 cents more than I was making. But also, going back to what you said about how other women can do something, to me, it doesn't matter if you're volunteering, if you're spending time with people, if you're, helping build a house, if you're doing something like a hobby like this is for me. The fact that it kind of stumbled into a business and now it's really morphed into its own thing. I've got a live show coming up in Hollywood, January 20th. Those are things that just came to me. But now I've given myself enough credit. Like you said, this is hard work. There is an audience for me. There are people that will pay for this. So you got to kind of have confidence in yourself. And as long as you're enjoying it, I think people will see that. And the bonus to me has been the community and new friendships and other people. And it's just been so much better than I ever imagined.
What is it about Jeff Lewis that you think he has star quality? What is his it factor?
I mean, you can't almost put a name on when someone has the it factor. I think when someone comes into a room and just everyone radiates to them, that to me is Jeff Lewis. I've now met him multiple times, mostly at public events. But the last thing I got invited to, coincidentally or amazingly, Jeff Lewis charges a $10,000 appearance fee to have dinner with him.
I cannot go on. Okay, tell me about this.
So he had talked about on the radio for the last year. For years, it was like $2,500. Then he moved it to $5,000. And now he thought, you know what? I'm going to charge $10,000 and see who does it. So he would say it on the radio, but none of us listeners ever knew who these people were. So a couple of months ago, someone reached out to me on the DM because I love chatting with, fans on the DM. I love talking to them on the phone. I love meeting them. And she said, my husband and I booked the $10,000 dinner with Jeff in New York. And so she had been telling me about it. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I'm excited for you, everything. As it got closer, she got the contract from his attorney and it didn't have a number of people that it could come. She goes, Sarah, if you can get yourself to New York City, we would love to have you as our guest at dinner. At first, I was like, no way, this is y'all's dinner. I don't want to interfere because, you know, I am a fan account and Jeff Lewis is well aware of me. I've met him multiple times. So I thought that would kind of change the dynamic. In hindsight, I am so glad I went because I have really become really good friends with this husband and wife. We made a lot of good memories. She's flying out from Virginia for my live event in January.
They're
so
from Virginia?
Really become friends.
Where are they from in Virginia? Where are they from in Virginia? You know, I lived in the
Richmond.
Oh my Lord. Okay. People are rich in Richmond, I'll tell you, honey. All right.
Yes.
So they got the money in Richmond.
She is not hurting for money, but she is just a Southern belle. She's amazing. It was so fun. The dinner, we spent 3.5 hours. No one even got up to go to the bathroom. We were all just talking. So when I say about the star quality, Jeff, I'd never spent that much time with him sitting at a table, but with nobody interrupting us, no conversation. He is just so conversational. He's very into people and asking questions. And I've always been called nosy, but I'm really curious about people and I really love people's motivations. I like knowing details. And sometimes Jeff and I share the same birthday, March 24th.
Oh, wow.
So we're both Aries. He's 3 years older than me, just so you know. But we have very similar personalities in the fact that sometimes we'll ask a question that probably isn't, you know, it's a little too nosy. But if you make people feel comfortable enough and they understand that your intention is truly genuine, they'll answer that question. And I won't go into details, but at that $10,000 dinner, he asked some questions of the couple that most people wouldn't feel like answering, but he asked in such a way that he truly is curious about you and he truly wants the answer, and they answered him.
Wait, did you reveal those questions on your show? Can we go back and watch them on YouTube?
Are they I probably didn't go into that detail because it's actually quite a personal issue with a family member they had, but Jeff gave us there was nothing he said. Like I said, I'm a fan account. So He knows I have an audience to talk Jeff Lewis and they're going to want to talk Jeff Lewis. He gave me no stipulations about anything that I couldn't talk about. I could take pictures. I could take videos. Of course, I didn't do any of that. We took a picture at the end, but there was nothing that him or the husband and wife told me I couldn't discuss.
Wow. Oh my God.
Okay. From that
so
3.5 hour dinner.
I got to tune in because this sounds like maybe it was a hot threesome here with a family member and Jeff wanted to know the detail. I'm kidding. Oh, good.
It wasn't. Yeah.
It wasn't that. All right. So I'm so fascinated. I mean, I've always said this to you. Jeff must love you. You are the best freaking marketing that Jeff could ever want. This was the longest, the dinner that you had is the longest time you've ever spent with him, right?
Yeah.
What was the most interesting question he asked you?
Towards the end of the night, he leaned over the table and he said, Sarah, you have my cell phone number, don't you? I said, no. And he goes, Shane, his assistant, was sitting next to me. And he goes, Shane, put my number in her phone. And then he asked me, and I'm like, okay. He asked me, he knew that I'd been to his last live event, which was November 2021 in Burbank. And he was in a few days, he was having his next live event, December 21st. He knew that I was flying out to LA for that. So he actually wanted to pick my brain on some ways that I could make the show different from the November 2021. And so then I said, do you want me to DM you or text you? And he said, no, text me. So I thought of some ideas, very specific, and on the plane ride home, and I texted him the next day. He replied. Since then, I really don't bother him much.
You're so kind. I'm
very hands off. Like, I don't DM him questions. I don't ask for insider information. I don't ask for free tickets. I don't ask to be invited to things. I think as a celebrity, he is very, wary of people. He's probably been burned, I'm sure, so he absolutely trusts me now. Like, he absolutely knows. I don't think he's ever thought I was out to get him, because I'm not, obviously. I mean, some accounts are very haterish and very anti, but he knows that I'm not. And plus he knows the chumps, as he calls them, which is his inner circle friends. Some are celebrities, some are just people that he hangs out with and works with that come on his show. But we all know from listening to his live show on Sirius XM, Monday through Friday, Channel 102, Radio Andy, 9 a.m. Pacific.
The perfect promo for Jeff. Oh, my Lord. I know. It's great. I mean, you turned me on. I mean, I've always been a Jeff Lewis fan, not to your degree, you know, but it's amazing what he's done and the career he's done and how he's transitioned to radio, which is very hard. And I want to see you in the mix for hosting his after show. I hope that happens. You need to be there because nobody is like a bigger diehard. I'm like, Jeff, you've got to get her in the mix.
Yeah. I appreciate that, but I do love that, you know, he keeps that, his inner circle people. That's in LA. I'm in Texas, just kind of an outsider looking in. So I feel like I can also say whatever I want to say because I'm not in that inner circle of him. Like, I think it's a healthy distance that I keep.
Yeah.
You know, to not really.
To have it.
But yeah, I think he absolutely, everyone that he's on, I'll promote their podcast, their TV show. I'll reshare things, all because I, as a human, know if I'm listening to a live show, I might be loading the dishwasher, working, driving carpool. I might miss something. So if somebody has a website or somebody has a sale or a code for Jeff, I'm going to post about it because I know people will want that information. They might have missed it. Now, a year and a half in, I'm at the point, thankfully, that people come to me for Jeff Lewis content.
Yeah, they trust you. Yes, they trust you. They know that you're a legit, you know, Jeff fan.
Right.
Okay, just give us the recap because I know you did a deeper dive, which people can find on your YouTube. But this $10,000 dinner, what did it end up just being the three of you, the couple and you?
Well, Jeff Lewis, the husband and wife, they've been married almost 30 years. They were so amazing. And then Shane, which is Jeff's personal assistant, was there. So 5 of us, not interrupted.
Wow.
3.5 hours. So Jeff apparently allots 2 hours for these dinners. He stayed there 3.5 hours just because he was so interested. And he talked about it on the radio.
Wow. Sarah,
so this person is the first person that we've ever, because I mean, she allowed me to, she went live with me on my subscriber Instagram live in my hotel room afterwards. And we asked her to ask me anything about the event. So she was willing to put her name out there as the person who invited me, because some people will be like, who's paying $10,000 for a dinner? You know, they should be donating to the homeless. Well, maybe so, but you know, it's her $10,000 and she can do with it what she wants. And so can Jeff. Jeff can charge whatever appearance fee he wants to charge if we're going to pay it.
Did somebody really comment that? Did somebody really say, "Oh, they should be donating to the homeless"? Get the fuck off my page.
Are you fucking kidding me?
What did they say?
The comments so stupid. I get are through. Like I said, Jeff Lewis chumps, Jeff Lewis listeners are like no other human on earth. They are very brutally honest. They hear things a little differently sometimes, but they will say anything just like Jeff will. So yeah, we get some very ballsy comments on all my social media. But the comment section of my reels and videos are almost better than the videos themselves.
I agree. I like my comments get juicy too. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I told you, I'm addicted to like the hate and the love. I think it's great. More people that engage, the better.
Yeah.
Do you like to cover other reality shows, and what other, aside from Jeff Lewis and all things Jeff Lewis, do you enjoy?
Well, just like you have become my 90-Day Fiance source and my 1,000-Pound Sister source. I have been watching 1,000-Pound Sisters for years. Okay, 600-Pound Life. Dr. Now is in Houston.
Oh my God, have you ever met him?
I live in a suburb of Houston. I've been by his office and just like this.
Oh my God, you have to get an interview with Dr. Now. He's very difficult. He's like 83 years old. He's like, and his son is like the genius behind Dr.
I didn't know that.
Oh my God, yeah. You should see if you can get this. The son is the executive producer of the show. His son is the one that pitched, I'm not sure the entertainment company that produces it, but the son is the one that pitched the production company that then sold it to TLC. The son is a genius. And, Dr. Now is another one of these people that makes a fortune off of cameos and Dr. Now jewelry. I mean, he is. What? We've got to get a Dr. Now interview.
Yeah. So 1,000 Pound Sisters is one of the few reality shows that my kids will watch with me. Like, they're not into Bravo. They're not into Jeff Lewis at all. Like, they don't give a rat's ass about any of this stuff.
Wow.
But they were watching 1,000 Pound Sisters with me the other day. So we started talking about 600 Pound Life. And I said, hey, I should get Daddy a cameo from Dr. Now. And then I realized he's so negative and rude. Dr. Now would be like, happy birthday. I mean, he's not even like, he cracks me up so much. Like, he's insane. No bedside manner at all.
He's always like, this is not water weight. You are fat. Yeah, exactly.
Well, and who eats 1,200 calories a day if they're 600 pounds? Nobody can eat 1,200 calories only. That doesn't even make sense to me, and I'm not obese.
Well, we got a Dr. Now hot take. Dr. Now's diet is insane, apparently. You're like, no, up it to 2,000 calories. That is true. I don't count calories, but I guarantee I'm eating a lot more than 1,200.
Yeah, and we're not 600 pounds. We're not trying to support that. I love that show. I love all the 90 Day Fiancés, and that is a full-time job in and of itself.
It is.
This whole part of my brain is 90 Day Fiancé right here.
So
this is Bravo. So I've been a day one Bravo fan since OC. So Vicky Gumbelson sitting in her freaking home office, hawking insurance, day one girl right here.
Gosh. Yeah, I know. It really, Bravo is amazing. And TLC, they have such great, I'm like now become a huge Sister Wives. I'm so into Sister Wives. And,
I've died out, but I like your take on it. But I've died out of, there's only so much time in the day. And now last summer, Jeff Lewis, he got a digital channel on Sirius XM, channel 7, 8, 9. So he had 3 or 4 brand new content shows. He had archive shows. So now there's more for me to listen to a week due to ratings or whatever reason, contract, bad attorney, as he would tell you. Some of those shows have been canceled, but there's a whole Jeff Lewis after show every day, as you mentioned. So that's a whole hour, 5 hours a week extra that I'm listening to. So I've had to cut out a little of my, like, I've never watched like Pillow Talk from 90 Day. I never watched the
too much
30-minute preview, like all that extra stuff. I just have to delete on my DVR.
I'm curious, where do you think, I mean, you're so in it with following Jeff, and Jeff is so unfiltered. Where do you think the future of reality TV is headed? Because there's a lot being made of the reality reckoning. Is that going to kind of, I really don't, I think it's actually just going to help the whole reality TV space. I don't think it's going to hurt. But I mean, it is very hard to get people to now watch a new reality show because we are so saturated. So that kind of means like what we have, that might be it, I mean, where do you see the future of reality TV headed?
Honestly, I love Bethany Frankel. She's an OG. I really do. I mean, she annoys me as much as I adore her. I've been blocked by her. She did unblock me on TikTok though.
Why
I'm blocked by so many.
I'm starting to be blocked by so many too. Okay, what do you think does it? Just your opinion? What are these people? Why do these?
I don't know. So sometimes I think they go to block Jeff Lewis. So I think Monica from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City at BravoCon, Jeff Lewis kind of pissed off Monica. He said some rude comments about her. He said some rude comments about Garcelle,
Crystal
Richards.
Yeah, he's over.
And so I think when she went to block him, she sees Jeff Lewis Obsessed come up and they just block me. But honestly, the people that block, I follow very few because I don't have the time to watch all the Instagram stories. And if I'm following you, that means something. That means I want to see your content. I don't give a happy follow to somebody just to be nice and then go and mute their Instagram account. I don't do that. I don't have time for that nonsense. So if I'm following you, it means I'm going to look at your story if it's got a ring around it whenever I see it. So I follow very few. So sometimes I've noticed I've been blocked because my follow number goes down by 1. And I'm like, wait a minute, what happened? I didn't block someone. And then I realized that someone has blocked me. So my block list now, and I usually find out, not because I followed them and quit seeing their content, I'll go to tag them in a story and I can't tag them. And I'm like, damn, another one.
I know. I seem to be joining you on this train of getting blocked. I'm blocked by Tammy Slayton from Thousand Pound Sisters, Ethan Plath from Welcome to Plathville. Now I just found out the other day I'm blocked by Heather McDonald from Juicy Scoop, who I love. I've said so many positive things. I can't believe it.
But well, don't worry, because once you told me you were blocked by her, I thought, let me go and check. And I'm blocked. Then I asked around. She's been in a blockety kind of mood as of 2024, apparently.
Well,
so I was first blocked by Jeff Lewis's ex-boyfriend, Gage Edwards. That makes sense to me. Like, just block a Jeff Lewis obsessed account. I get that. Then I was friendly via DM with another ex of his, Scott Anderson. He eventually blocked me because he started fucking his other ex, Gage, which they're still. So that made sense. He then since unblocked me, sent me a DM a few months ago and explained why he blocked me and then reblocked me again, which I understand. Whew. So Jeff Lewis's exes blocking me made sense. Then I realized Jax Taylor blocked me, Ariana Maddox, Tom Sandoval, Lisa Rinna, Monica. I mean, I can't even keep up with it. Heather McDonald. Heather McDonald has been a block, unblock, reblock. It's been a back and forth. And so...
Lord,
I don't know why. I literally make stories and tag them. I don't make like nasty stories. I'm just not that account. I don't have time for that nonsense. I'm not that way in real life, and I'm not that way in social media. I'm not here to drag people. I can know, and this is again where Jeff Lewis and the Chumps and the Bravo celebrities trust me. I can have information either early or information that no one needs to know publicly. And they are well aware it stays right here. It never comes out the mouth. So if you never, like Monica from Salt Lake City now is realizing, oh, I trusted my former best friend, Tanisha, and now that broad is going everywhere with my information. My thought is I learned early on, humans are disappointing. In this whole social media fun fan account, people come at you like crazy and they might be friendly to you and then do a 180 and you're like, oh shit, like why are they like, I gave them let me fuck you over. Don't be a bitch to me if I don't fuck you over. Give me an opportunity. If you deserve it, I will definitely come at you. But if you don't deserve it, I'm a great person to be around. But I've learned to be a little less naive. And if you never say it out your mouth or type it, it cannot come from you. They cannot say you said it or typed it.
Yeah. Okay, I love your life philosophy anyway. I feel like, when you're married, as long as you have been, and you're a mom and you're like launching your own career, you've learned many life lessons. What do you think like is the best life lesson you've ever learned?
I guess it kind of goes back to what I said earlier is, believe in yourself. I feel like whenever you emit confidence and you're genuine about it, like I genuinely this last year and a half have wanted to invite people. Hey, I know you want to come to BravoCon, but you don't have a bestie or you don't have a husband to come out with you. Meet me there. I will have meetups at the Dunkin' Donuts at BravoCon. That way people from all over the country or Canada or Alaska, or not Alaska, Australia, that's still part of our country. I'm not real smart, Sarah. Like geography.
I get it.
Geometry. Those words are.
You're a smart cookie, though, but I get it. There's a lot of things we have to remember. And yeah, I'm with you.
I can talk to people, but I think people genuinely realize I want to meet other people also that I have things in common with. But I also get so excited to see other people meet other people and build friendships. I'm not just trying to be like, oh, now I've got 20 Jeff Lewis friends. Great. Oh, sucks for you. No, I'm always, hey, we're in Houston. We're going to have a dinner. Does anyone want to meet up with us? And it took a while because now, like I said, the momentum is growing and I've got this fan base for Sarah from Texas that is very different from Jeff Lewis obsessed. They're realizing we like you and what you do and what you talk about. And so many people have actually let me know, I didn't even know who Jeff Lewis was. And now I listen to him because of you. I didn't know about Hollywood Houselift. And now I watch that TV show because you got me into it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun, you know.
You were almost on a reality show yourself, right?
That's crazy. So my kids and I, about, I don't know what year it was, but somehow one of my daughters got into theater, and then somebody said, she needs an agent. Like, y'all should do commercials. And I'm like, what is that? Like, we're in Houston. Like, we're not LA. We're not New York. We're not Dallas, whatever. Long story short, we got a talent agent. So we were doing commercials and a little bit of movies, things like that. So with an agent, they would give you jobs and auditions. And sometimes I was on these email lists at the time where people would just reach out to you individually, or somebody would recommend you for something. So as we went through that process, I realized a lot of these Bravo celebrity shows would also have casting calls for, like, we need a man 25 to 34 to come to this bar and hit on Candy. So we would see, not that specific, I'm just making that up.
Right, sure.
We would see that sometimes reality was a little whatever. So long story short, it was going to be a TLC show.
Tell me.
I went back and forth with them for months, probably on these. I guess it was a Zoom before I even knew what Zoom was. This is probably like 2014, 2015. It was before I was even a teacher. I was a full-time mom.
Oh my God. Okay, go. I love this.
Somehow they reached out to me about somebody crazy that you dated, and maybe like a crazy dating story.
Okay.
Well, in all honesty, I dated a guy from age 16 to 25. And then I was single for about 15 months, and it was super fun. And then I met my now husband in 1999. So I don't have a lot of dating going on, but I did have a best friend of mine that set me up with this doctor. He was in medical school, and he showed up on a date with a short sleeved button down shirt and like a tie. I mean, in hindsight, you can change the clothes. I'm sure he was a great guy. Long story short, the date ended up being super crazy, and they were making it. It was something about one of your exes would come back, and the show never ended up making it.
Yeah,
it never went on. But this casting, these Zooms were months in process. It was crazy.
Wow, you were almost on My Crazy Ex. Okay, I love it.
That's probably what it ended up being. It just, you know how shows will like die out, or they'll lose the funding, or they'll delay it, they'll table it.
Any reason,
it probably
there's
came that.
a million different reasons.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I actually want to see you on Wife Swap, which I don't believe is on anymore. But I feel like you would be so good. You have so much experience with balancing a household and a husband and like 5 kids. Like, I would love to see you on Wife Swap. You'd be so good.
That would actually be funny, because I can't, like, my face shows everything. Like, if somebody is confusing to me or disappointing, or, it's all, the looks I can give people will really like burn a hole in them. So I don't think I would be able to keep my mouth shut.
It'd be good.
And my face would tell everything, because they always put you on with like a completely opposite family of yours.
Yes, right. If you're like clean and organized, like, are you hyper organized at your house? Like, are you super? Yeah. You are. Okay, you're like OCD. Okay, so they would pair you with the most slovenly man and kids ever, and you would be going nuts.
And I would be like, we are organizing this pantry today. Get your shit together. You know, you're not eating a bag of chips for dinner. Yeah. It would be insane.
Oh my God. Sarah, I have to ask you 2 last questions. What I find you to be stunning. Like, your eyes, you have the most unique eye color I think I've ever seen. I can't even describe it. Are your eyes real?
Yeah. Are my eyes real?
Are those like
I do
custom?
wear one contact. I wear one contact in my right eye that balances, because I'm 50 years old. So I have perfect vision for far away, but I can't read my phone without my one contact in. But it's not colored. My eyes, I get sappy. My eyes are the same color as my dad's. And I lost my dad at age 54 to cancer. So when someone comments on my eyes,
oh no, you're going to make me cry. Light up. Oh my God.
I light up, because I had an amazing dad. I looked like my dad. My brother looks like my mom. And I had an amazing dad, and I didn't have him for long enough. He was amazing. And I have his exact same eye. And now that I'm crying, my eyes will be even crazier because they get a very light green, like almost yellow when I cry.
I'm telling you, when you guys go to her live show, Sarah has, it's like they are a piece of sea glass. They're the wildest color green. You know, most people have that kind of, I have like a dark green eye, but look at her eyes. They're the wildest, most beautiful green, light green. It's like,
thank you.
I cannot even describe it. It is like a piece of sea glass. Your eyes are gorgeous. And I always am like, are those real or has she had custom eye color lenses made?
They're tattooed. No, you can look at baby pictures of me. I was born with orange hair.
Wow.
And at 2 years old, it went super white, super blonde. But now I color it because it gets gray.
Sarah,
but it's pretty much, you know.
That's so crazy.
I'm fair-skinned. I'm freckled. You know, I'm a blonde.
You are a blonde through and through. Yeah. How old were you when your dad passed? Because it's funny, we have that in common too. My father passed away when he was 49 of esophageal and stomach cancer. I didn't realize you and I had that in common. You must have been young as well.
Yeah, let me think. My second baby was 5 weeks old. I was probably 1 month after my 30th birthday.
Wow.
31st birthday, if I'm doing the math.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. 1 month after. So I had a 2-year-old and a 5-week-old, and my dad passed away from cancer. He had cancer about 15 months.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah. Wow. Very quick.
I'm so sorry.
Gosh. Me too.
Yeah.
I didn't.
And then I lost my mom to cancer at age 67. So almost 5 years ago. Oh, and my brother, my only sibling, had stage 4 rectal cancer that had spread at age 37. He is now a healthy almost 54-year-old man and father of 2 and husband and amazing.
Holy shit. Have you been for every genetic test that there is under the sun? Like have you had every single thing?
Take my blood. I get the tits checked every June. I'm like, check me for everything. They can actually do a lot of blood work now and give you, every year it increases the number of cancers that they have researched and found out if you're a carrier almost, if you have the potential for getting this cancer.
What's this called? Can I just get this if I go to my doctor and just say, what is it? Yeah. Like, is it a cancer panel screening? What do I ask for?
Pretty much. Tell them the family history that you have. When I tell them my mother, my father, my only sibling, my grandfather, my grandmother, when I tell them that, they all passed away of cancer, except for my brother, who's thankfully healthy. The flags go up and they're willing to do anything for you to check. I'm like, I want to be here a long time. I live the healthiest life I can. I sleep, I eat, I exercise. I don't drink alcohol. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke cigarettes. But nothing is concrete. We're not in control of our life journey. So that's another thing I would tell women, men, children, everything. Live your life to the fullest. I was with 2 best friends last night for a 3-hour dinner. I adore them. I've been friends with them forever, but they both still have their dads and they both still have both their parents, to be honest with you. Anyways, we were talking about family and how I love that my dad didn't waste any time. He wasn't a dad that was like, my dad retired at 51. Okay. So not a lot of people can do that financially. Wow. My dad retired at 51 to hang out with me and my mom and my daughter at the time. And then he got cancer a year later and fought it for 15 months and passed away. So you can plan your whole life financially, but if you just were that person that was like, I'll get to that later. I'll hang out with my kids. I'll go on that vacation. We'll have the beach house later. I'm going to work. I'm so thankful and so proud. Here we go again. I'm a mess. I'm so proud that my dad didn't do that, even though he could have never known he was going to pass away from cancer at 54 years old and leave my mom a widow.
Wow. Oh my God. Okay. Well, I've got to, first of all.
So live life to your fullest. Live life, have fun, make the most of your day, do whatever you want. F the haters. Don't listen to people when it's the neighbor going, what are you doing? I saw you on TikTok. Like, yeah. Did you love it? Oh, if you didn't, there's an unfollow button, lady. Unfollow me. Don't look at my shit if you don't love it. If you're not in it for, like Joey Zalzig, one of the amazing chumps of Jeff Lewis, he says something about, it's kind of nasty, but he says about if it's not giving you money, an orgasm of whatever, basically if it's not doing something amazing for you, remove it from your life. Remove those people, remove that time that you're spending from your life. And I am so thankful, honestly. I know I got to meet you in LA and we've recorded some fun stuff together. But honestly, you have really become a friend and we really lift each other up in this crazy podcast world. And I can't wait. You mentioned my show and I hope that you know that you're invited January 20th in Hollywood.
Girl, I will be there. Tell people. Okay, so I am absolutely going to be at your show here in Hollywood, in Los Angeles. Everybody needs to come. I have a big California listenership. January 20th, which is a Saturday. The event is like 4 to 6, right? It's kind of like a comedy event, a Q&A, obviously a meet and greet with you. Tell people where it is. How can we get tickets? I cannot wait. Are there going to be cocktails? Because I'm living my life. I'm having a drink.
At the event, all the details are still unfolding. So I've got a very important phone call right after this. The ticket sales, the link is on my Instagram bio, my TikTok bio, my YouTube, blah, 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 Facebook group, everything. The tickets are $50, taxes and fees included. I love that because I can't stand taxes and fees. It is 4 to 6 p.m. The venue is on Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, I think
it's called Slash Studio, but all that information is on the link. But then afterwards, we're going to go to have dinner together. We're probably going to hit up Tom Schmitty's, High Tops, and then we're going to end the weekend at this speakeasy inside the SLS Beverly Hills Hotel that I got a special price for everyone. And we're all staying, or a lot of us are staying at the same hotel, and we're just going to make a whole weekend of it.
Okay, so I got to get a babysitter for all night. I mean, till Schman gets home. Okay, we're going all out. All right.
It's going to be so fun. When I mention the community, that's really what this is all about. It's not just people are flying in from all over the country. So I'm not just going to say, come to this 2-hour event. No, we're going to Polo 2 Boutique in the morning. We are going to Chaz Dean's LA studio together.
I'm doing this whole thing.
We're having lunch in Beverly Hills. All the things. January 20th, book it. I've got a VIP special for you.
Oh my God, I can't.
You're on my special list of invites.
I can't wait. I'm going to the whole thing. I just wrote all day Jeff Lewis Obsessed meetup. All right.
It is all day.
Sarah from Texas. Everybody can follow you on IG, on TikTok. Like I said, I just randomly was scrolling through and you popped up with your Bravo takes. And I just was so captivated by your voice and your enthusiasm. And I'm like, for a woman that is anyone that is thinking like reinvent, try something new. I mean, you are truly navigating it. I can't wait to see where you're at in another year and a half because I just think your brand is it's going to explode. Everyone needs to follow you. Jeff Lewis Obsessed.
Thank you. I adore you, Sarah. I love that your mom and dad named you Sarah with an H. I mean, what could go wrong?
What could go wrong? Sarah, we love you. Sarah from Texas. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Sarah. I love you.
Bye, girl.